Luke want to have lunch with Scott?
No, Luke doesn't want to have lunch with
No,
Scott.
that's not what he wants. Luke doesn't want to have lunch with Scott. What does Luke want?
Luke wants to meet with Scott.
Luke wants to meet with Scott. Does Luke want to borrow money from Scott?
No, Luke doesn't want to borrow money from Scott.
No, Luke doesn't want to borrow money from Scott. What does Luke want?
Luke wants to meet with Scott.
Luke wants to meet with Scott. Does Luke want to have a meeting with Scott?
Yes, that's correct. Luke wants to have a meeting with
Yes,
Scott.
that's correct.
Which is the same
Luke
thing
wants to meet
saying
with
that,
Scott, which is the same thing as saying that Luke wants to have a meeting with Scott. To meet with someone means
to meet with someone means to meet with someone means to have a meeting someone.
to have a meeting with someone.
To have a
Does Luke think the meeting will last all day?
No, he doesn't think the meeting will last all day.
How long does he think the meeting will last?
He thinks the meeting will last.
He thinks the meeting will last about 3 hours. Does he think the meeting will last more than 4 hours?
No, he doesn't think the meeting will last more than 4 hours.
No, he doesn't think the meeting will last more than 4 hours. How long does he think the meeting will last?
He thinks the meeting will last about 3 hours.
He thinks the meeting will last about 3 hours. Does Scott have time for meetings this week?
No, Scott doesn't have time
No,
for meetings
Scott
this
doesn't
week
have
because
time for meetings this week. He's very busy. Is Scott a little busy or very busy this week?
Well, Scott is very busy this week.
Scott is very busy this week. Will the meeting between Luke and Scott take place this week?
The meeting between Luke and Scott will take place next week.
No, the meeting between Luke and Scott will not take place this week. When will the meeting take place?
The meeting will take place next week.
The meeting will take place next week. Is it true that the meeting will take place next week instead of this week?
Yes, it is true. The meeting will take place next week
Yes,
instead
it's
of
true.
this week.
The meeting will take place next week instead of this week. Why will the meeting take place next week instead of this week?
Well, the meeting will take place next week instead of this week because Scott is very busy this week.
The meeting will take place next week instead of this week because Scott is very busy this week. Now, let's help Luke and Scott figure out the best day next week to set up their meeting. You're looking at the schedules for Luke and Scott's for next week. I'm going to ask questions based on their schedules. Will Luke be in the office on Monday?
Yes, Luke will be in the office on Monday.
Yes, he will. Luke will be in the office on Monday.
Yes, he will. Luke will be in the
What
office
about
on Monday.
Scott? Will Scott be in the office on Monday?
No, Scott won't be in the office on Monday.
No, he
He'll be
won't.
on vacation.
Scott won't be in the office on Monday. Who won't be in the office on Monday?
Well, it's Scott. Scott won't be in the
It's Scott. Scott will be in the office on Monday. Is it true that Scott will be absent for work on Monday?
Yes, that's true. Scott will be absent from work on Monday.
Yes, that's true. Scott will be absent
Yes,
from
that's
work
true.
on Monday.
Scott won't be absent from work on
Can
Monday.
I set up the meeting on Monday?
No, they can't set up the meeting on
cannot
Monday.
set up the meeting on Monday. Why can't they set up the meeting on Monday?
Well, they can set up their meeting on Monday because Scott's won't be in the
they
office
can't
on
set up the
Monday.
meeting on Monday because Scott won't be in the office. He'll be on vacation.
He'll be on vacation.
Will Luke be on vacation next week?
No,
Luke
won't be
on
on
vacation next week. Who will be on vacation next week?
Scott won't be
on vacation next week. Will he be on vacation for 5 days?
No, he won't be on vacation for 5 days.
No, he won't be on vacation for 5 days. This is going to be a short vacation.
This is going to
How
be
many
a short
days
vacation.
will he be on vacation?
Well, he'll be on vacation for 3 days.
He'll be on vacation for 3 days. Will Scott be in the office on Monday?
No, Scott won't be in the office on Monday.
Scott won't be in the office on Monday. Does that mean they can't set up the meeting on Monday?
Yes, that's right. They can set up the meeting on Monday.
Yes, that's exactly right. That means they can't set up the meeting on Monday.
Yes, that's exactly right.
What about Tuesday? Can I set up the meeting on Tuesday?
Well, they can't set up the meeting on Tuesday.
No, they still can't set up the meeting on Tuesday.
No, they still can't set up the meeting on Tuesday.
Why can't they set up the meeting on Tuesday?
Well, they can set up the meeting on Tuesday because Scott won't be in the office.
They can't set up the meeting on Tuesday because Scott won't be in the office. Who will be absent from work on Tuesday?
Well, it's Scott. Scott won't be absent from work on Tuesday.
It's Scott. Scott will be absent from work on Tuesday. Will Scott be back on Wednesday?
No, Scott won't be back on Wednesday.
No, he won't. Scott won't be back on Wednesday. When will Scott be back?
Well, Scott will be back on Thursday.
Scott will be back on Thursday. Will Scott be absent from work on Thursday?
No, Scott won't be absent from work on Thursday.
No, Scott won't be absent from work on Thursday. He'll be in the office.
He'll be in the office.
All right, so Scott will be back on Thursday. Does that mean they can set up their meeting on Thursday?
No, they still can't set up their meeting on Tuesday.
Unfortunately, no. They still can't set up their meeting on Thursday.
No, they still can't.
Why can't they set up their meeting on Thursday?
Unfortunately, they still can't set up their meeting on Thursday.
Well, they can't set up their meeting on Thursday because Luke won't be in the office. He has a doctor's appointment that day.
He has a doctor's appointment.
Who has a doctor's appointment on Thursday?
Well, it's Luke. Luke has a doctor's appointment that day.
It's Luke. Luke has a doctor's appointment on Thursday. Does Scott have any doctor's appointment next week?
No, Scott doesn't have any doctor's appointment.
Scott doesn't have any doctor's appointment next week. Tell me again. Why can't they set up their meeting on Thursday?
They can't set up the meeting on Thursday because Luke won't be in the office. Luke has a doctor's appointment.
They can't set up their meeting on Thursday because Luke has a doctor's appointment that day, so he won't be in the office. Will Luke be in the office on Friday?
No, Luke will. Yes, Luke will be
Yes,
in
he
the office on
will.
Friday.
Luke will be in the office on Friday.
Yes, he will. Luke will
What
be in the
about
office on
Scott?
Friday.
Will Scott be in the office on Friday as well?
Yes, Scott. Yes, that's right. Scott will
Yes,
be in the office
Scott will
on
be in the
Friday as
office on
well.
Friday as well. Can they set up their meeting on Friday?
Yes, they can set up a meeting on Friday.
Yes, they can set up their meeting that day. Will both Luke and Scott be in the office on Friday?
Yes, both Luke and Scott will be in the office on Friday.
Yes, they will. Both Luke and Scott will be in the office on Friday. Can I set up their meeting on Friday?
Yes, they can set up the meeting on Friday.
Yes, they can. Both Luke and Scott will be in the office on Friday, so they can set up their meeting that day.